and welcome to the Camnet Breakfast. I'm your usual host, Patrick Soko, and today, as usual, we have a fully packed program for you, our dear viewers. Just stick around and we get the conversations going, especially now that we'll be talking about the Zambia national soccer team, which was playing up against Comoros, and the Zambia managed to win that game by 2-1. You too, our dear viewers, would want to get your perspective regarding how you'd want the Chipolopolo boys to continue performing, especially if Zambia is to qualify to the Africa Cup. Remember, we have failed to do so in the recent past, and Zambians are highly expectant of that the team will make it to the AFCON. You too can get give us your views regarding how you think the team performed against the Comoros, and what you think we need to work on to ensure that we are ready to qualify. Just now, we're going to go straight into Morning Booster with Isaac Machisa. Stay tuned.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome to our morning boost. I am Isaac Machisa, and I'm back. And let's do something quick now. I need that. Let's go. One each. Just 5 minutes every morning. You're good to go. Let's go. One knee each. Two knees now. 1, 2. 1, 2. 2 knees each. Two each. 2. And back here, match. Let's match. Let's go. Let's go. Go. Let's go. And we're going to do a little bit of abs today. A bit of abs. Let's go. Steady. Stretch. All right. Let's do a bit of abs now. Okay? Let's see how many we can do. So I'm going to lie down here. Join me. Come with me. Ready? No more crunch. Imagine you have a coin here. So you need to lift your head. Go. Take a break. 10 seconds, 20, no, not 20, 10 or 5 or 15 maximum. Let's go another 10. Let's go. 21. Okay, so let's do abs now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 10. 20. Okay, 30. So remember, I need to be taking some breaks in between, but I need a straight 30. After 10 abs, take a 10 seconds break or 15. Let me give me my last 10. Let's go. 10, 9, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. So try that, and it's gonna work good for you. Let's go. So that was for the abs. You do that, then I'm gonna introduce another workout, then we'll be signing out soon. Okay, so relax your muscles, and there we go again now. Let's work on the bats now. So I'll do 10 each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Next workout, straight. Then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Last 10. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And good morning. Have a great day. This has been Isaac Matsa, and I'm going to see you next week at the same time. Remember always to have a morning boost before you go out for the day. Thanks.
Well, there you have it. That's Isaac Machisa, as usual, doing what he knows to do best, and that's helping us with a morning workout. And I'm actually a royal follower of Isaac Machisa.
Why are you choking, Patrick?
And I've been doing a good job in terms of working on myself.
Because it's like a follow line that it's not matching really with what you're doing. That's why you want to choke, you know.
You always choose to be in the opposition.
No. God has a way.
I can tell you that.
God has a way in which
you always want to be in the opposition. Sometimes just try to defect. Come to the ruling. Come to the ruling.
2026. We shall see what happens.
Yes, probably Sharon. You may have a position is just waiting for you, just like Savoy. You get it. You get it.
A very good morning to you, our viewers. Obviously, Patrick already welcomed you all, but I want to welcome you too to this breakfast show. We are having a great time so far, and he's just telling me how he's been exercising and making progress using Isaac Machisa's 5 minutes workout. And we promise that very soon we'll be going direct to the gym, him and I, and see who is going to get tired in 5 minutes. Because if he's been doing it, obviously he's going to proceed and do maybe 10, 15 minutes. But for me, who's just starting, I'm always truthful, you know. I've not been doing this thing. So yeah,
yes,
I'll be starting.
I think the first week of July, we are going to be doing that drill, especially at the gym site, so that we can also be getting flexing. And then we'll be broadcasting from the gym, so that we make it easy for people to follow. You know, sometimes when you are participating in a gym, Sharon, you may not know that you are doing some certain things wrong. So we're going to be having the instructors help us do things rightly, so that you work on your body accordingly. Otherwise,
even the equipment. I think that those instructors will actually help us understand what equipment to use, what exercises. Last time, I think I saw a video of Elias Chilela, one of our video editors here.
Yes.
Exercising with an alleged wrong gadget.
Wrong! You know, and actually we received correspondence from the doctors, because that video was posted on Facebook.
You know?
So we received, they said, no, what Elias is doing, he will end up becoming lame. So the area it stops, the better.
The better.
You see. So those are things we need to avoid, and we're going to be doing that with the instructors in this, so that we'll be filming from the side, the gym side, so that they can help us do things right.
You know, there's some people that will over exercise. I don't know if it's exercise or over keep fit or whatever. You know, they just overdo it and they become bent. You know, they become like this, especially men. You know, they'll be working as if they've taken Bendeka.
We'll talk about Bendeka next time.
Let's look at what the doctors have for us this morning on the Health Corner from the Medical Women Association of Zambia. They never ever disappoint, and as usual we always remind you that this is your platform, and this segment is also available for sponsorship. So those of you that want to come on board and do business with us, just call the numbers for the marketing department or come to our studio here in Ibex, and we will get to have a chat and see how we can have a win-win situation. Remember, it takes money to make money. Let's look at this Health Corner, and thereafter we continue the conversation. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to Camnet TV. My name is Dr. Ma Asambang, and I'm from the Medical Women's Association of Zambia. Today we'll be discussing about treatment. For the past 2 days, we have discussed on the prevalence of hepatitis B in the context of the globe and also Zambia. Then we also discussed diagnosis. And so today we'll be discussing on the treatment. Now, remember what I said. There is no one size fits all with hepatitis B. Once someone is tested positive, we do not immediately place them on treatment. Now you may ask why. Well, because not everyone's immune system responds the same way to an infection. Now in the context of hepatitis B, if someone's ALT and HBV viral load is increased, we may consider treatment. I say may because if the viral load is less than 2,000 international units and the ALT is less than 30 in a male or less than 19 in a female, then there's absolutely no reason to put them on treatment. Now, in case someone has HIV, then they would already be on treatment such as tenofovir. Now, tenofovir is one of the recommended antiretroviral therapies. You may think that because it's an ARV, it needs to be restricted to someone who has HIV, but that's not the case. With hepatitis B, tenofovir-based regimens have been shown to benefit patients who are tested positive for hepatitis B. Not to mention, it has the lowest resistance to the HBV virus. That is why it comes highly recommended. Several studies have shown its benefits. And so when we place someone on an antiretroviral, it may be for a lifetime. I know that this can be disheartening to some people. And there's always a misconception that because someone is taking an ARV, that makes them automatically HIV positive. I'm here to tell you that that's not the case. And I'm so glad to be here to educate you more on the treatment. Once someone is placed on the antiretroviral, we have to constantly monitor them with the tests that I mentioned yesterday. Just for the sake of revision, those tests include a fibroscan, ultrasound, hemogram, liver function test, and if someone is HIV positive, a CD4 count, viral load, and not to mention an HBV viral load. These tests are emphasized as we would not want any of our patients to lack treatment. Hence, compliance and adherence to the ARVs is a must. Some people with chronic HBV have been known to stop, and this may cause adverse effects. What would happen is the liver will become worse, and it may develop into scarring, then into liver cancer, or what is also known as hepatocellular carcinoma. Now, treatment is offered to stifle the process of scarring and eventually cancer. Many people with hepatitis B have thrived on treatment. There is always hope, and I must add that psychosocial counseling is also part of the treatment because it is a lifestyle change. And so, thank you very much for your time. My name is Dr. Ma Asambang from the Medical Women's Association of Zambia. Until tomorrow, good day.
Welcome back. You're still watching the Camnet Breakfast. My name is Sharon Kalimbula. On the other chair is Patrick Soko, and we are taking you through this show up until we say our bye-byes, I think around 9 or slightly before 9. So since now and at that time, you can call us or send us those text messages and let's have a conversation on what's been happening in the country. We have a topic of discussion scrolling on your screens, and therefore you can use the numbers that are there to just call us. And that was the Medical Women Association of Zambia giving us that daily healthy update. And today they are talking about hepatitis B, which Elijah failed to mention. He was like, hepa. You know, I have to do something for him to pronounce these medical words correctly. But yeah, that's what the doctors brought to us. In case you want to review this, you can still go to our Facebook page and just go back and listen to this, watch this, and understand at least the basics. And then you can seek medical attention if at all you have one of these symptoms of the diseases or the illnesses that the doctors have talked about on this show.
Yeah, indeed. They say prevention is better than cure, and that's what the doctors help us to do, because we take a proactive approach to ensure that you get to understand some of the symptoms of diseases and the diseases themselves, so that you can take the right measures to safeguard your health. So be sure every time to join us on the Camnet Breakfast to just get to understand how various diseases occur and how you can prevent them.
Indeed, let's look at how the money markets are this morning to see how our culture is performing. The United States dollars is buying at 16 quarter 17 way. At least it's appreciating. It had jumped to 17, but now it's back on 16.70, and it's selling at 17 quarter 03 way. The Great British Pound is at 20 quarter 88 way and selling at 21 quarter 29 way. The South African Rand is at 1 quarter 09 ngwe and selling at 1 quarter 11 ngwe. The Euro is at 18 quarter 89 ngwe and selling at 19 quarter 26 ngwe. Those are your money markets, and you can also sponsor this segment. And you know, this bureau, I don't like finishing it because that word, bureau de change, it's actually not change, Patrick. That's why I can't pronounce it correctly. I leave it to bureau. You can come through and let's do a package on how you can sponsor these money markets and give us your rates at your institution. So yeah, that's how our culture is faring against the major convertibles that we use here in Zambia. That is the British pound, the US dollar, and the South African rand.
Interesting. Just now we are going to go to zoom in the stories, and some of the stories that you'll be also contributing to our dear viewers is the issue of the Zambia national team. And when we look at the Zambia national team, they were playing Comoros last evening, and the Zambia was a better side. Sharon, we managed to win. It's been a while. Zambia
But Isaac, is he playing that song for us?
He has to play that song for us. So
I don't actually watch soccer because I think I get agitated, so I don't like if my games where my win lose shani. You know, I would rather just be on the terraces and you scream and do whatever you can do and just tell me what the results were. And yesterday I hear the one by 2-1.
Yes,
by 2-1. And Patrick, I think you lost quite some good money. I don't know why you didn't tell Blessings to bet with you over that, because I remember you telling her lemba story ati Zambia baluza inaweza lemba tiwawina. You know.
Yes.
You had done the stories in advance.
Yes, sir.
Just waiting for the scores. So
yes,
for him,
yes, the projection,
you know,
I had hope that
they will win. And he did the story around 17-18 that Zambia has won. While Blessings Chakwila, who is our sports reporter, did a story on the neg, you know, like they've lost.
They have lost.
So she actually lost, you know.
I think I need to get money for that bet.
Exactly.
Yeah. But before we zoom in the sports, Sharon, I think we'll get to it a little bit later. Let's just look at this story also. It was also in the news where the finance minister was talking about a deficit in terms of financing the national census, which is supposed to be held. And we get to look at this story, which was done by Prudence Chota.
Yes, indeed. Let's look at the story. The census is an important undertaking, and it's been postponed before.
Just like our famous guest would say, this Bizwa Mutari, it's
non-negotiable. It's non-negotiable. So let's look at this clip, and on the other side, we continue the conversation.
The census of population and housing is the biggest national resource that acts both as an input into the development programs and as a measure of the impact of various development programs embarked on by government, NGOs, and other stakeholders. Zambia, however, failed to hold a census in 2020 owing to various factors, among them lack of resources. The census, which has already been postponed twice, is now set to be conducted from 17th August to 14th September 2022. The challenges of resources have, however, persisted, and government says if it does not manage to raise the remaining deficit to finance the census budget, then government will be left with no option but to go to parliament and look for a supplementary budget, which will mean cancelling some developmental programs from the 2022 national budget. Secretary to Cabinet Felix Nkulukusa said this at the 2022 Population and Housing Donor Roundtable meeting held in Lusaka Tuesday.
Today's meeting is critical for the successful conducting of the 2022 census of population and housing, which has already been postponed twice. The main objective of the meeting is to appeal to you, our cooperating and development partners, to help government close the funding gap in the census.
And Finance Minister Dr. Situmbe Komsokotwane, who spoke virtually, has explained that the total budget for the 2022 census of population and housing stands at 967 million kwacha. Out of the amount, the government has funded a total of 658 million kwacha, leaving a deficit of 309 million kwacha.
You can tell that from the budget of 967, there is a financing gap of 309 million kwacha. 309 million kwacha. Let me say that it is a big challenge for us to find this money, the 309 million.
Meanwhile, Zambia Statistical Agency Interim Statistician General Molenga Msepa says the agency is waiting on Cabinet to approve the budget for the recruitment of enumerators and field officers.
Recruitment, the key thing here, we're waiting for the Cabinet approval of the recruitment guidelines. Number of staff to be trained, national trainers already trained, now it will be distant coordinators, IT staff, zonal census coordinators, supervisors, enumerators.
And the United Nations Population Fund, UNFP, has handed over additional bicycles to the agency and has pledged to knock on the doors of companies to help the Zambian government meet the census budget.
The cooperative partners, that my two colleagues that I asked to stand up earlier, will be doing a door-to-door visit to the cooperative partners, because we really do not want to put you on the spot, just to get to appreciate how you support this government initiative, which is very important for policy decisions, for programming, and for getting us to 2030, as it has been mentioned.
Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Well, there you have it. Quite an interesting story on the national census of population. It's quite an important national event that has to be held every after 10 years.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we did not hold it as stipulated, and we have to hold it at a delayed time. And
At
we're
the same
still
time,
dealing
we're
with
still,
the same issues of
yes,
finances.
we're
Sharon.
still looking for funds to facilitate the smooth carrying of this event. It's an event because, I mean, it doesn't go on forever, but UNFPA has been an all-weather partner in this process, Patrick. I think at some point we covered under the PF administration. They also came on board and donated bicycles, among other things that are supposed to be used.
Yes.
I think other cooperating partners also donated computers towards the process, and the people who are supposed to conduct this foot soldiers were already trained. I think if the money is found, I mean, we're even half a year already, you know? So this calls for concern, and the minister there was just calling for other cooperating partners to come on board.
Yeah, so for me, it still validate what the concerns that have always been coming to say, even the same national budget, there's still over-dependence on donor support.
Yes.
So because this is the census was part of our national budget that was announced by Dr. Stumbeko Msokotwani last year, Sharon, and it was indicated that it has to be held this year.
Yeah.
But if you see, there's the aspect of a deficit that they have there. If you heard the minister correctly, he's actually suggesting that it's not easy to find that money.
No, it's
so
not.
You know what that means.
Yeah.
We are looking for cooperating partners to help support this census, and this is where we, as a country, should be drawing lessons to say, if we be using our minerals correctly, we'll stop borrowing.
We'll stop asking for
handouts.
You know, handouts, because literally, I think the Patriotic Front, then Minister of of National Planning, which is now under the Ministry of Finance, Mr. Alexander Chiteme, had actually issued a statement addressing the media, the nation through the media, saying business entities should come on board, and he was attacked. You know, he was attacked on social media, left, right, and center, you know, to say, how can you be asking corporate entities? But this is basically the same thing that is happening, you know?
Yeah, Sharon, and again, it bothers me how sometimes we don't pay attention to important national events, because if you look at how politicians, for instance, fund their campaigns, but as a country, collectively, we are failing to raise that resource.
That money.
That kind of money can be raised, but you see, things that are
we don't attach importance to certain things.
Yeah,
I think we always want to directly benefit, you know, to make a profit out of whatever we give out, which shouldn't be the case sometimes. But to some extent, I do understand. I think it takes 10 years for Zambia to have a national census.
Could have been mobilizing.
But we could have been mobilizing in that 10 years. I think, yes, quite all right, though. They would have a rough figure of how much we needed, such that when the time comes, you just add a little, you know, not whereby you've literally failed to organize the money. I think it's embarrassing. But anyway, it's not only Zambia. I know someone who just actually mentioned this. I think even South Africa delayed by a year or two to conduct its census. I think they're only having it this year as well.
Yeah.
They delayed a bit due to one or two reasons. So we're not the only ones, but we shouldn't be basing our failures on other people that are failing as well. Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Interesting.
So, Patrick,
I think now we can talk to, before we get to zoom in many other stories, Sharon, we can go back to our conversations, our football, which you are very conversant with. You didn't know this.
No, I'm not. I just asked in one of the WhatsApp groups to say, okay, have we won? You know, have we? What are the scores?
Good, you're being honest. I thought you would be just coming.
No. I think if there's something I'm honest about, is the 5 minutes workout routine, and this. I think I'm not really so much into sports, but I love rugby. That I don't hide.
I won't even entertain that lie.
No, I do.
This is because you just realize, you say, I have no time to ask you about life.
No. I love rugby, but I don't know much about it. It's a sport that I started playing.
What do we call the Zambia national team for rugby?
I don't know. But I know them. I know those huge human beings.
I leave it here, and we zooming the story, Sharon. With the song, we wanted the song for the Chipolopolo. This is a dedication to the Zambia national team. They won actually last evening. They were playing against the Comoros, and this was a good redemption for the Chipolopolo boys because they were beaten by Ivory Coast. And that 3-1 loss was very disturbing to most soccer fans here, Sharon, including myself. Others had had attack, and as usual, people say, they say when you're watching the Chipolopolo, there's a kit you need to have on the side.
Yes.
You need to have Panadol.
You
need to have
water. You need to have
a thermometer.
You need to have a BP machine.
Yes.
You know, so that you regulate your blood pressure. You know,
Yes.
You just switch off the TV. You know, and relax a bit. You switch it on, or maybe if you start developing headache or something, or fever, you just take a Panadol, you know,
even a fan and aircon, because at the end of the day, even if it was cold yesterday, people were busy sweating. You see, that's how you watch the Chipolopolo boys most of the times. But yesterday they managed to bring a smile on us, the soccer fans, and we are happy with that win, Sharon. 2-1. We just hope that we'll beat the next opponents, who will be now Lesotho. And we
comparing to Ivory Coast, the country that beat us, to Comoros, how would you rate the teams?
Ivory Coast is no match.
Creme de la crema.
Ivory Coast is no match. If you look at their squad, Sharon, it's full of
international players.
So we can't match them. Even Comoros can't match them. So even us as Zambia,
so you say Comoros winning Comoros is one now. Zambia na Zambia. That's what you mean, eh?
We're within the same.
Zambia na Zambia.
We had improved, but now we're just the
Zambia na Zambia.
I think so.
Okay.
You can qualify. So we will be getting your views, you two, our dear viewers, on the performance of the Zambia national soccer team. You can tell us where you think they need to work on, especially which departments need the attention for us to qualify to the Africa Cup. Just zoom in the song there to just celebrate our victory.
Yes, send us those messages. Don't just say Kamanga, oh yeah.
I thought we were going to go with Mavutopili to protest at Football House.
At Football House, you know. I don't know where Kamanga comes in. I don't know, but you know, people, when Zambia is playing, you will see all these being thrown on social media, on WhatsApp groups and stuff. Kamanga, oh yeah, Kamanga till 2026. Whatever they mean. Let's look at this song dedicated to the Zambian team that played and made Zambian people proud yesterday night.
Basambia tupondo chachine umfa vuvuzela chachine soli wa chisungu chachine tulumbe basambia walulavu opponenti nalala chachine kipa na shipula chachine nasi mkimana chachine seni tubalonge chachine Zambia balange ya bola Zambia balange ya bola Zambia balange ya bola Zambia balange ya bola
Nyembo za chikata Bishop Latin kama vikapa Charity Mukabin Latin kama vikapa iwe tewa bola fi Ndetira tewa bola fi
tupondo chachine umva vuvuzela chachine soli wa chisungu chachine kulumbe wa Zambia wanulavu wabonenti nalala chachine kipa na shipula chachine nasi mdimana chachine zeni tubalonge chachine Zambia balange ea bona 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 Zambia balange ea bona
House. Bola ya bakulu kulipe kampombwa monga batipisha pa nyumba tingolonga timachita city kamba monga ponga liwewe uvela chizwezwe tikapona ufuna tipisa tasokolo kama pulano yao tayapongo shola polani ya tutakontolola iwe Zambia ni hama ndiwe korola tatoka kumbuyo tajombolola watenga chikombe tapoko shola siya balero chalongo moka tawina na mensa mwafyokolola chipolopolo
Say goodbye to Hollywood. That's a nyimbo ni few in a rambo. You say my champions to win na manja mujumba. Beveni vimpomba. Isendi sevikumba. Siku ponja siku zimbela. Tuswagi twauni tonyingelela. Jaba ise yatu ichokela kulivumu ya mavumu nko. Ingo donya pamine tapita. Bago doba pamine titila niseba na bamolongo pamine tinge na mahala bebe balipi.
Shala, oi, toy, you an action figure, sorry. You sitting on a dream, as for me, though I'm sitting on a number, ya mene igonga zero. You plot your war, but I'm a angler, skilling no paka stamina. You gon' receive no lamia. Mizani whistle, time is up. This is the game for champions. We go by the name Zambia. We gonna wash you out clean, mona sopa yo Zambia.
So full of passion, our hearts are tattooed champions, ever having victory whenever we be battling. Heart of a warrior, that's why we always going hard. No one can be stopping us, cause we are more than conquerors. Heart of a warrior, that's why we always going hard. No one can be stopping us, cause we are more than conquerors.
Polo Polo, there you have it. We are talking about everything Zambia.
Can you sing?
Yes, I can.
Can you sing that song? At least a chorus fee. Polo Polo, yeah.
Was it one you were trying to tell me that I can sing?
That was Pompi, Mark 44.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. I like it.
I think it was 2012. I remember this song. The guys are much bigger now. They're big boys, you know. They're chilling with, those are the people that will say want to chill with the big boys. You know, you chill with the people that were in this song. You know, the Pompis of that world, the Mark 44s, this guy who speaks English, a lot of English. This one, Ebo Chungu. You know, the Some of Us son of the clan. You know, and there was the other guy who did Ichichi Kwatini Forever.
Taonga.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tio.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Among other guys, yeah. I think 2012 was a very defining year in the sporting facilities, specifically football, for the Zambian people. And we still hope that we may, one of these coming years, even the next season, to bring back the trophy home and just celebrate. Football is a uniting sport, and you know, people forget who they are, but they just think we are Zambians, and you know, that patriotism comes out when Zambia is playing, and we see it all the time. Imagine if the Ichikombe were to come back home once again. I think Patrick would actually buy me a car, you know. Just to thank me for being his friend, you know, but
exactly
this time, because Takuri, Tabale winner, we don't.
No, put it out.
Zambia winner, please, I need that.
We need that white attire.
Yes, to be
in a white
exactly,
base.
exactly, you know.
Yeah.
So we are talking all things football, and yesterday's match is what we are reviewing, and you, our viewers, can call us and give us one or two nitty-gritties that need to be done. Before we zoomed in those two songs, Patrick, I think we're also talking about Kamanga, where we had one of our colleagues, Mavuto Piri,
yes,
going to on a lone protest at the Football Association of Zambia House, you know, wanting to demanding that Kamanga Oye should exit the office. How does it come into play, Patrick, really? Is it the coach?
Okay, those were among the concerns people were raising, to say, does Kamanga play football?
Exactly.
But is it the coach? Is it the players? Probably other things would come in, but let's take in this coach, Sharon. We just get to hear their perspective as well.
Hello, good morning. Yes, we are. Okay. Good morning.
Good morning, you.
How are you?
Okay, Mama.
Thank you so much. Please go ahead with your contribution.
Yeah, I just want to make a contribution on these so-called professionals. I think the coach was courage to substitute them when they're not performing like here. For instance, our passion. But that's passion, let's so we have this guy like us on bench. I don't know why he should have substituted for someone who does that.
Okay.
Generally, how would you describe the match? Yes, we won, but obviously you were following step by step what was happening.
I think there was a lot of improvement compared to the we spoke to the message at the back. We did very well. We connected there. Except for that, unfortunately, instance which gives the Comoros that the corner. Otherwise, I think it's not there. The chief, the successful comparing the fashion. So you hate the most interactive, you don't really experience from that brilliant
Okay, just a quick one though before you go. Whenever Zambia is playing, people are always saying Kamanga Oye, Kamanga Oye. Is it part of? Is it supposed to be criticized if Zambia doesn't perform according to people's expectations?
I think that's it. Among the really effective matter, maybe on the part of the church. These are issues of the technical issues. I think we should be reading a lot now.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
His perspective actually corresponds to my thought, but I did not want to say it myself because I was going to be accused of
bulldozing people's thoughts,
of trying to paint someone black deliberately, as claimed on social media. Because I've tended to observe that, our caller has actually pointed out, the performance, especially by Fashion Sakala, was actually not up to speed, and in terms of, he missed a lot of chances, and he was not accurate in some passes. And the thing that our caller was just saying is that you should have courage to remove these players.
If you think
just because they are playing in England, it's not an inspiration to play nonsense, and that's what the previous coaches were doing.
That word, Patrick.
No, it is. I'm not even substituting it for anything.
You seem to be really upset.
That's what happened. The previous coaches would make some of these professional players just play 15 minutes, the last 15 minutes. Even if you see the selection, we already had, for instance, local players are now just being added on when it is too late. There's a blend.
They prioritize those that are playing international football.
Yeah,
which is not supposed to be the case.
You have to
balance.
You balance out.
Yes.
And we also have to help in terms of also gelling the team, because that also helps to gel the team, because they'll be able to coordinate better. Now, if you're going to just select those you think are playing outside Zambia, then what are you trying to communicate?
It's a perception that people have to say when you probably study abroad or you're doing something abroad,
you're
even better off. But that's not the case, like you have mentioned. If somebody is playing nonsensical football, is showing signs that they are tired within 15 minutes. And I see a
lot of unwillingness from the coach to make substitutions. Even when that player was injured, I saw them when they were arguing or something.
He has a special liking for these people.
So you can't just, even the way we played Ivory Coast, we didn't make more substitutions on that match.
How many substitutions?
On the
how many substitutions are allowed?
I don't know about if we're also following but according to the European football, we were increased to 5.
Okay, 5.
Then it was because of the COVID-19 pandemic. But now I don't know, for Africa I think we've been maintaining the 3 substitutions. I think that has been the case. But the intervals of making these substitutions, they also have to be technical. If you saw, we were getting tired, especially on the middle of the pitch, and that's something we need to ensure that the technical bench has to be looking and constantly following, because when it comes to football, Zambians don't joke, Sharon.
No, they don't.
They don't joke, and all they want is
speak unanimously.
You see, so that's actually something we need to really take seriously.
Indeed, we are talking all things football in comparison to what happened yesterday. You can also go back and look at the game that was played against Ivory Coast, where we lost by 3-1. And yesterday, Zambia was, it went in our favor, and we won by 2-1. And that's what we are talking about. And our previous caller mentioned to say Kamanga should be left alone. Not social media. He's more on the other management side and not the technical side. So really, let's also criticize wisely and with substance and with truthfulness in that, so that we help build this sporting discipline that has always been supported by the Ministry of Youth and Sport, other than other soccer, football. What am I saying? Sporting disciplines.
Just now we're going to...
Patrick is forcing me to talk about football, and I can't believe that throughout this show, we will be talking about football.
Yes, we'll be talking about football. We'll talk about
if I bite my tongue honestly, you're going to pay me.
No one is paying me.
Let's zoom in some of the stories.
We'll look at the highlights of the match,
so
that as you comment, you can also give your perspective
on exactly what you saw
on the match,
in case you missed it. Let's look at this.
On the left-hand side, he's full of goals as well, but it's that Comoros look to steal in some terrible communication, and there is certainly an opportunity at goal, and it is excellently taken by the Coelacanths. What a smash and grab. And Sabata misreading it. Well, it was Mayembe's miscontrol at first, but then Tandi Mwape seeking to head it back, and Sabata just not able to his left foot. And it is the free kick, just hitting the wall. Fashion Sakala with his roaches. But that's a disappointing ball. The second shot, and it is a goal. Very well taken. Beautifully controlled. Chesting it down even. So much time on the ball to drill it past the goalkeeper. It was going nowhere, the corner kick, but brilliantly taken on the goes in the way of the Zambia situation. Evans Kangwa, magnificent. Just finding that area between the diving stretch of the goalkeeper and the post. Nothing that Hamada could do. His positioning was right in the...
There you have it. You are still watching the Camnet Breakfast with me, Patrick Soko, and my co-host Sharon Kalimbula.
And he just got his cup of tea to show you that indeed it's breakfast. Welcome to it.
Yes, indeed it is. And so you saw the highlights, Sharon, and Enoch Mwepu scored for us, and as well as Kingsley Kangwa. He scored a wonderful free kick, Sharon. It was actually a superb one. He did it like just like the likes of Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo do it, and we didn't expect it. And you know what was going through my mind? I was like, this free kick is in a good position, and this is the time Zambians usually wish we had Kalu in the pitch. Now I was also thinking, now if you think you are wishing you had the Kalu taking that free kick, what do you mistake? What do you make of Kamanga?
Exactly.
So then I said, no, let Kangwa do the wonders. Then as I was just meditating, Kangwa did the wonders, Sharon.
Made you proud.
Made us proud.
All right, so Zambia is in Group H, and before we came on, we displayed what teams we are up against.
Yeah, we can still have that display so that we can see how the table looks like, Sharon. It's quite an interesting table because Zambia now are tied on 3 points. Ivory Coast on 3 points. We also have Comoros on 3 points.
Wow.
And Zambia. So 3 teams are on 3 points.
The other team it was what? Which other team makes it 4?
Lesotho.
So
now Lesotho did not win any match because they lost actually to Comoros, and that's why they have they don't have any points at the moment.
0 points.
Yes. So we see that they will be playing Ivory Coast, and that match will mean that if Ivory Coast wins, it means they will get to 6 points.
Okay.
They will be topping the group. Then Zambia and Comoros will be tied at 3. So basically, as things stand, Comoros and Zambia have equal chances, and we have to just make sure that we beat them when we go back to the to their home stadium and win so that we guarantee our chances. Okay. Then we also make sure that we don't spare Lesotho, Sharon. We in football, for example, Zambia has to do us proud, but to avoid the calculators, because every time with these group stages, Sharon, we look at the calculator. If Lesotho beats we start playing for teams to lose.
Yeah.
While we fail to take matters personal ourselves. So we just have to make sure that we take things personal and make sure that we win our next encounters we take on Lesotho. This will be very, very important for us in terms of ensuring that we progress. And in that game, we did actually play well. We saw that Zambia had 20 shots on target, Comoros had 8, and shots. And on target we had 7, Comoros had 3. And in terms of ball possession, we were at 64%, Comoros was at 36%. And in terms of, you see, the passes as well, we were also okay. And in terms of the pass accuracy, we were at 78, while Comoros was at 60%. We saw, we did well in terms of the yellow cards. We saw the Comoros with 4, Zambia is it 3. So generally, it was a good game for Zambia, even in terms of how we managed the ball possession. The teams, the game stats speak for themselves. Sharon, stats don't lie.
Numbers don't lie. Indeed, we are talking about the match that Zambia was playing yesterday evening against Comoros ahead of the
ahead of the Africa Cup of Nations. That will be hosted in Ivory Coast.
So you see, yes, I'm just getting to know what this thing is about. But anyways, you too can call in and send us those contributions. Let's talk about it. This is your game. For now, though, we are not forgetting about the stories that made headlines yesterday. And we look at some of those stories. And let's look at the story involving GBM, who is former former defense minister under the Patriotic Front. I think that was the last position he held, not so?
Yes.
Before he resigned. And we still continue to quote him as such. He was also once the UPND vice president at some point, but the official position in government was that he was defense minister. And yesterday he was summoned by the police for an interrogation, and he was later arrested. And the police spokesperson, deputy spokesperson, Mr. Daniel Mali, issued a statement. And we were at the police, and a lot of people came to offer solidarity in his party involving this same situation. Let's pick a call before we zoom in those stories. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Okay.
Hello.
Oh, hi, how are you?
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Your name and where you're from?
Zambia.
Okay, you can give us your perspective on the performance of Zambia.
Yeah, Rishani Bora. Tale Monica.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So mui bola to ala teana vale soto ni fisi fo mule fa activa chita ba coach fo wenga chita tu improve okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Lamek. Thank you. So yeah, I think everybody noticed Fashion Zakala's performance. That it wasn't as expected, or maybe you people expected too much. I mean, I don't even watch.
It was among the people with more chances, but the final pass of the final delivery was not that accurate.
For
a player of his caliber. Yes.
Maybe you overrated him.
which is you.
Maybe you've overrated him. That's what happened.
Those stories before
Let's zoom in the
Sharon
story
tries
for
to impose
GB.
words in my mouth.
When you overrate someone, it always happens. Isaac, please, let's zoom in the story for GBM, and thereafter we continue.
At Woodland Police Station, where former Defense Minister Geoffrey Mwamba, who is also a Patriotic Front diehard member, was being questioned for various suspected offences. After a few hours of interrogation, Mr. Mwamba was finally arrested and will appear before the courts of law Wednesday, 18th June 2022. And police deputy spokesperson Danny Mwale has informed the media that Mr. Mwamba has been slapped with 26 charges. He says among the charges is 8 counts of conflict of interest, 1 count of money laundering involving a total sum of 632 million United States dollars, 15 counts of being in possession of properties reasonably suspected to be proceeds of crime involving a sum of 20 million kwacha.
This is in a matter where Mr. Geoffrey Mwamba, when he was Minister of Defense between 2012 and 2013, failed to disclose his interest in writing on 3 Zambia Army contracts and 5 Zambia Air Force contracts that were awarded to Kazon Global Limited by Ministry of Defense. He has also been charged and arrested for 1 count of money laundering. Allegation involved a sum of 632,000 US dollars. Further, Mr. Geoffrey Mwamba has been charged and arrested for 15 counts of being in possession of property reasonably suspected to be proceeds of crime.
Mr. Mwale has also named another person arrested with Mr. Mwamba as Adolphus Mubanga of Makeni, who has been slapped with 3 counts of being in possession of property suspected to be proceeds of crime, involving a sum of 5,555,954 kwacha.
In the same matter, Mr. Adolphus Mubanga, aged 58, of plot number 11438 Makeni in Lusaka, has been charged and arrested for 3 counts of being in possession of property reasonably suspected to be proceeds of crime, contrary to Section 71, subsection 1 of the Forfeiture of Proceeds of Crime Act number 19 of 2010, involving a sum of 5 million kwacha.
And leader of the opposition, Brian Mondowile, who visited Mr. Mwamba Tuesday afternoon, says he is disappointed at the conduct of the police, who have refused to grant bond to Mr. Mwamba despite meeting the bond conditions, where 10 members of parliament from the Patriotic Front were willing to sign the bond.
The question remains, the question that begs is who is telling the truth or who is not telling the truth. Is it that the police are deliberately disobeying the presidential directives? Or is it that somebody somewhere is telling the police that forget about what I say out there, just do as I tell you when cameras are not pointed at me?
And Patriotic Front Acting President Given Lubinda says the people of Zambia will soon regret having voted the Patriotic Front out of office, and has thanked the party cadres who visited Woodlands Police to offer solidarity for their good behavior.
He has been charged on an offense which is highly bailable, and the ordinary thing would have been for the police to grant him bond. The fact that they have denied him bond is denying him his freedom, unduly so. And when we say that Zambia is speedily becoming a police state, this is exactly what we mean.
For now, Mr. Mwamba will have to spend the night in the court at Woodlands Police Station. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
There was jubilation at the Chinsali Magistrate Court Tuesday morning when the court in the district acquitted former Home Affairs Minister Stephen Kampingo and others from the offense he was accused of endangering the safety of an aircraft that was said to have been carrying United Party for National Development presidential campaign team in 2015. The court set at liberty Mr. Kampingo after it found him and others with no case to answer for the alleged offense. However, it has placed Andrew Kampingo on his defense, and he will appear before court on the 7th of July 2022. And shortly after his appearance, the excited currently Shwangandu lawmaker addressed his sympathizers.
And I want to commend the judiciary through the subordinate court for adjudicating on this matter and ensuring that justice has prevailed. It's one thing for people to be tried in public perception, and it's another thing to be tried in the courts of law. So to come and allege that I was in the area where this was happening is very unfortunate. But at the end of the day, we would like to see police who are firm. And Inspector General, please, I wouldn't want to see the professional police officers who came here to tell the truth get victimized.
Those who were jointly charged with Mr. Kampyongo for the subject offense at this comment.
Musango banjikatiremo bampere umulandu ukalamba sana owakufa okubikendeke mu busanso ero ikide kyakiranda ati uyu mulandu bampere ero banjikete owakukakuwa myaka 15 kufika fena kufira mu kifungo nombo okusangwa kwa bati abanjikete kuntwala mu kukoti tapali nangumo wanu mbulapo okuteko nali nangu mulimo nangumo nabombereko pakubike ndeke mu busanso so ikide kyaro shapo chebero uyu muntu lufyengo
inena umfa bwino sana justice has prevailed because mulandi bale pera wali ukalamba sana ndinshali kono kuba upato febro abantu ndanga bali kupata fe abantu atu abaso bakubika fe bali kupera fe milani.
PF Chairperson for Legal Affairs George Chisanga had this comment.
So this offense is a very serious felony, the punishment of which is 15 years imprisonment or life imprisonment. So it is only when the state has a very good case to try that they should even attempt to charge people under that section. But because they were informed by hatred and because their mindset was made up with what the president had said at the beginning, during his campaign, they thought it's an opportunity for them to bring Stephen to trial. They thought it's an opportunity for them to bring the rowdy people they believed, were committing crimes to trial and charge them with a very hideous offense of endangering an aircraft. But if you saw even how the court was examining, assessing the evidence, the court clearly stated that all the testimonies that were given by the state, none of it pinpointed any of those people and tied them to the crime.
Miriam Kaimba reporting for Camnet TV News.
There you have it. Quite interesting stories coming from the police there, Sharon, at Woodlands. It was a hive of activity
yesterday. Actually, the investigative wings yesterday had a lot on their table. I think also the Tasila Lungu was scheduled to appear before the Drug Enforcement Commission, and it was moved to 14 and later moved to a later date, I think, because Nelson was geared. I don't know what his interest was so much into that story. He had to go back in the afternoon to just make sure that he covers the story. But unfortunately, he found out that it was moved to a later date, which will be announced by the commission. So yeah, we've seen a lot of these things happening, and they died out a little. But they've actually awakened.
Yeah, the PF has been given a shift. Usually when there's such issues, they move in solidarity.
Exactly. The Brian Munduwiles of that world, given win, there is always, like, they don't have much to do, and so they just wait for these. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Yeah, it's like they don't really have a lot of things to do, a lot of activities in their offices. So whenever there's this thing, you remember how much they offered solidarity to Nakachinda? They were always at the courts, they were always at the police, they were just all over, as if it was a campaign season, So
it's both. You have to
strategize.
They also say that when you're being taken to the police and everything, it is one way of also getting public sympathy, and as well as politically capitalized on the situation. So you'd see all presidential hope was actually flocking to that facility to ensure that even me, as someone who aspires to be the president, I'm here to give you solidarity.
They are so united. We surely hope that they will unite and raise the resources they need to go for the national conference.
Talking about the resources, according to you, do you think they are not capable of raising the resources?
They are capable, but I think each one of them thinks they're selfish enough at the same time. They just don't want to put in the money because they obviously think this political party is dead and buried, as others would say. At the same time, I think they know maybe most of those that are aspiring are not actually even standing a chance, And one thing that always comes out is one of their presidential hopefuls, Chimba Kambwili, is not among that group that usually flocks to the police station whenever one of them is in trouble. It's like there are camps already. So much as we say there's a bit of unity, I think there's also a lot of division, because why not be together? You know, Kambwili is always said to be a force to reckon with.
So if you ask me, they are heavyweights in PF in terms of financing political party, the political party. Even before they were in government, there were those people who would finance party activities using their personal resources, even at the moment. But I think according to what the Vice President then explained, Mr. Given Lubinda, who is also the PF acting president, was that they don't want a situation where just because you, Shalon, you think you have put a huge amount towards
you
the
should win.
You should win.
People should vote for
because you should think, Shalon, these are the people, yeah, these are the people who should be able to take the party forward because they have single-handedly funded the convention. But again, it also comes about ordinary members of the party. For me, I think it will be difficult for the party to raise resources from ordinary members of the party, considering that these are people, for example, when the party lost, they haven't been able to move at every constituency to engage the people to say, we lost, but how do we move on from there? And even the elections pertaining to who should vie for the top position, there hasn't been a voice, for example, coming from the ground to understand, to say, this is what the people want. So if you ask me, Shalom, the idea there is to just, they also want to create a win-win situation to ensure that there's no influence. But again, their critics have been arguing to say, they wouldn't want to, for instance, if you just stand up alone to say, hey, I'll finance the convention, then you may be seeing DEC and the Anti-Corruption Commission following you to say 5 million.
Saying, they said they need 5 million?
Yeah, so something like that. So
that's a lot of money.
That's another fear that they have. But we just hope that they will emerge united from their convention, because this is June and we are not preview yet to the date of the convention, unless you. But
why me?
We are yet.
We've been interviewing them together here, and they've clearly stated to say they haven't announced the date. They were hoping June, but clearly even June itself will not be a successful month for them to hold this general conference.
And another interesting thing that comes about under the PF and the president's issue is that there's no female candidate in terms of the aspiring. All the aspiring at the moment are males. So we are not seeing even the flamboyant
possible vice president for this country taking on the mantle and say, I want to do this.
Because even she should stand a chance, because she was actually tipped to be the running mate. Should have, if things went the other way around, should have been the vice president now. So we would want to see her also challenge the men and just register her presence. But it also tells you to say, these are the challenges that continue to hinder women participation in politics. Because at the end of the day, they are not most of them would find that they may be financially incapacitated, or an opportunity may not just avail itself for them to just be seen to say they would want to also vie for these critical positions. And I've also been arguing to say, I see eloquent women, for instance, that are under the women's movement, the umbrella being the non-governmental gender coordinating council, NGOCC, where they would say they would want more women to participate. But these are the same women who are coming, for example, who have the muscle, who have the knowledge and the know-how how to run things, but themselves they're not getting into the ring.
All right, let's pick the score, Patrick. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Sorry?
Come again, your line is breaking.
From where? Okay, your line is pretty bad.
Are you able to move a bit?
Yeah, just call us back. We want to hear what you want to say. Hello? Okay, just cut and call us back.
Bad. Yeah, the line is bad.
So that's try to call us back. We really want to hear what you want to say, and we want to talk to you as well. Patrick, you were saying?
Yes, so I was explaining to say, you find these women, I'll give an example, those who serve as the executive directors, who serve as the board chairperson, and those women who are running associations, they wouldn't want to get into the ring, but themselves, they have the knowledge, they have the
capacity, even the financial support.
The financial support, and they have the capacity to express themselves, and they wouldn't want to get into the ring. But they would want to start with women, for instance, who may not, for instance, be ready to stand before people and express themselves. Those women who may have low self-esteem, and they would want to push them. Sometimes it's not easy. So even themselves, those who are running organizations and everything, they should stop being in the terraces and get into the ring and fight this gender agenda if it is to come into fruition, because also speaking from afar won't help matters. I want to see a time when Sharon says, no, enough of me reporting and being on the Camnet breakfast show. Patrick, I'm going to contest in Munari constituency.
Yes.
As a councillor, I'll start from there.
No.
And I'll start going into...
that is the lower position.
You'd want to buy as what?
As a member of parliament.
As a member of parliament.
Yes.
Yes, so you can challenge...
I'm honestly challenging someone.
You can challenge the likes of Charlie Tulumba. You try to take on Aimbe. You would want to seek a... okay, Aimbe is in the other side in terms of Lusaka Central, but you are in Munari. You'd be fighting Mr. Mposha. And we would want you to see...
Mr. Mposha, watch out.
Yes, but those are but practically speaking, Sharon, it takes someone who understands how politics is,
but you know
how governance works.
Exactly, Patrick. Not to cut you short, but you know what makes people, especially women, shun away from these issues of politics. Really, even myself, I think, is the issue of character assassination. For me, it's actually very, very predominant against women, and I wouldn't want to be entangled into all those things. You know, she did what with this, she did what with this. You know, these things, yes, much as they are not true, but they're just hurtful, you know. So women wouldn't want to associate themselves with politics for fear of that. You've clearly stated that these women who head these institutions that are fostering the agenda of the gender agenda, they know and understand exactly what needs to be done. They know the obstacles, the more reason why they don't want to enter into this race. Because if you're feeling a character assassination, you know, women are emotional beings.
And there's something that I've also observed that is going to hinder the gender agenda, especially in terms of enhancing women participation in politics and governance in general. What I've observed is that with the emergence of social media, women most of the times, in order to get attention, have projected themselves as objects of sexuality.
Yes.
And that tends to overshadow whatever good things they can do. We see women just parading themselves naked, and what sort
next
of
minute
they want to vie as a councillor, as a member of parliament. Then when the minute I'm looking at you, first of all, I'm not
the
going
first thing that comes to my mind is, oh my God,
is this the right person?
Is this the role model I want for my child?
For my child, you see, because for instance, I'll not even beat by the bush. Even for instance, the aspiring member from Mwandi constituency, you've seen so much controversy that emerged last week, especially in recent weeks.
You know, not caring, caring for what people say also is a disorder. Honestly,
yes. So because at the end of the day, Sharon, you tend to think to say, so is this what she wants our girls to be dressing like? Because you know, when you are a leader, Sharon, you have people look at you
in
with a lot of respect. They look at you as a role model to say, no, I would want to be like Sharon. The way she reads her news and the way she does her reports, it inspires me. So, and the next minute they are seeing Sharon busy parading herself on social media
in a bikini
with those dresses that are transparent.
Oh my God! He's even failing to actually describe.
Yes, the next thing they think at, okay, being like Sharon, it takes me to be doing whatever she's doing. You know, this appetite for popularity and to just make money using social media has really affected our women folks. Because if you see our women now, they are really hindered in terms of their reputation. And while we're trying to advance gender equality and also steer women participation, it is becoming a serious barrier, which as a country we need to take seriously and ensure that we curtail and combat. Actually, this conversation Sharon, was actually stemming from where we were talking about the candidates from the Patriotic Front. But we still see it in terms of all political party structures.
Yes, exactly.
There are only a few women, and the incorporation efforts are not up to speed. They are not doing, taking deliberate measures or steps to ensure that women are incorporated. But also, we need to work hard as a country to raise women of integrity. To raise women, you know, women, for instance, women like Madam Ngwase Mwari of the NGOCC, women of like the Mizingamelus of this world, women who are doing better things.
Women like Sharon Karimbula.
Women like Sharon Karimbula, who stands before the camera and give the news to the millions of Zambians and beyond. You know. It has to take that.
I'm just wondering why you put me last, but I'm with you here. Indeed, the prophet in his own land is not recognized.
You serve the best for last. You serve the best for last because that's the technique I use.
A prophet in his own land is not recognized.
Those metaphors.
Is not recognized. This is what happens.
This prophet has been recognized time and again. So if you see Sharon, it has to take a lot of effort for us as a country. But you see, we make progress. These chaps on social media reduce our progress as a country. But what are we going to be doing? And it is not possible for us to say, don't focus on whatever negativities they've been doing, but that's what they are portraying every day. It's not easy. And I've interviewed the women movement on several occasions, and they'll say, let's focus on the positive attributes of these women. Let's forget about, you know, people in politics is also a game. You should need to understand.
Yeah.
So politics being a game, people would want to use anything that would lower the people's petitions, the credibility and your ratings as a candidate. So they want to, and no wonder you have seen, for instance, even our current president, people wanted to focus on some of the things they deemed as minor weaknesses, so that they try to bring him down. People even went to the extent of trying to advance tribal issues to just bring him down, to make sure that his chances of progressing are reduced. People were saying that immediately the president is sworn in, Zambia, the CBD will be flooded with cows.
Where are the cows?
Just because
we want them.
You know, so where are the cows? You see, Sharon, as we say, but there's no logic. There was no logic in that thinking. But we tend, so even when women are doing those things, they need to be always factoring that to say, people will try to use whatever mistake. You know, even me, when I always say it here, because I learned one lesson while we were working on a program on the cyberspace, that every day, like for me, I take responsibility over every post I make on Facebook, because I know that 2 to 3 years from now, I would want, when my children are getting hold of my account, or they are trying to peruse through my account, they should not be disgraced. Because I may be comfortable with whatever nonsense I may be doing, but my children will be balanced and may become a laughingstock in future. And that may hinder their self-esteem. So even whatever people tag me on, I'm usually careful.
And tag myself usually.
So I wouldn't want, for example, someone tags me on things that are not portraying a bad picture of myself and my reputation, because I know that at a point in time, someone will get hold of these of the same issues, and these are things that we need to take really serious as a country. Sharon, we have a caller.
All right. Hello. Good morning. Hello. Patrick, use your male voice.
Good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, we lost.
All right, we lost that caller. Keep calling us, keep trying to get through to us and talk to us on various issues. And also the conversation that we are having today, which is Reviewing the match that Zambia was playing yesterday evening against Comoros, in which it emerged victorious, and we hope that when next they play Lesotho, it will be the same thing. Actually, with more goals, for me, really. I think it's about goals. Zambia, I've been complaining, yes. I've been complaining, like, you know, when you know, football doesn't need to have a lot of scores. Quite in netball, you know, quite in basketball. You know, things like that.
Have you played netball before?
No. I've played rugby before, believe it or not. Honestly. Rugby sevens. It reminds me of Blessings, when she did the story for rugby and how it started in the US by a couple that wanted to raise resources for some charity, and they started the rugby sevens, and it has grown to be a global thing. But anyways, let's look at
we look at the story. This is a story that has been interesting as well, Sharon. We'll talk about it when we come back. It's a story pertaining to markets, and one of the market that has been full of wrangles is the Comesa market, and we continue to see the mushrooming of makeshift stores or trading places, and people continue to advance the notion that there are no markets and everything, but they continue to improvise, and that has also contributed a huge informal or sector that is not usually ungovernable. And while authorities like ZRA have been slow in terms of ensuring that they correct the market, the tax from them, because where the tax that the way supposed to have been charging should be 1 kwacha, but the actualizing of the base tax has been an issue for a while, because we've seen associations like Zanamaka coming to the fore, explaining to say it has been difficult in terms of also support from ZRA. We're not actually getting enough support, but they had started that process. We just hope that they will also manage to raise resources through the informal sector, because at the moment Zambia gets much of its taxes from the payers you earn, from a few people who are working.
And the ZRA meeting its targets even before time, meaning people are doing fine in paying their returns.
Exactly.
Let's look at the story, and thereafter we continue the conversation as we draw closer to winding up this breakfast show.
This is Lusaka's Comesa market, which has been characterized by many wrangles of recent, latest of which is the alleged demolition of 22 makeshift stores by former Speaker in the National Assembly, Catherine Namugala, on the basis of them being located in front of a shopping complex, matters she has declined to comment on. The traders who have been fighting running battles with the above named had their goods confiscated and the makeshift stores demolished in May of 2022. Harry Mwangankumbula, Ward 12 Councillor Mr. Aaron Mwanza, who is the area councillor, says a map has been formulated by the Lusaka City Council, which will see the traders being given part of the road reserve as a temporary measure before the construction of more markets.
That is trying to bring what to confusion. That's why the same place is where these marketers, for now, is where they're trading from. So we are trading. We are giving in Amgala. I'm giving 24 hours to remove the quarry there and put it to a place, so that these women they can continue, because that is a process of harassment. How can you put a quarry where they're supposed to be trading from? So let her remove that. I'm giving her 24 hours to remove that quarry which is there. It's not a place. It's the place for council. And these are marketers. It's where they are putting their tables as for now.
The traders who are now selling on tables allege that they're still fighting running battles with political party cadres who have allegedly been hired to harass them. One of the affected now narrates.
So chipezeka kuti aba bantu bali kuli na Mugala bamene bene Vincent babwera batichita harasi kuli aba bamene batantika pa matebo babapisha kutantika pa matebo ati musazitantika apa pa matebo bati nishisila ndi yawo so mazo pa Thursday nebenzofuna nonipaya anabwera na chinsimbi nobwera ni kupanya mu Nyamata winango no menya bafana maningi naine nonichita kwendo.
The traders add that the goods which were confiscated by the accused during demolition have still not yet been given to them, nor have they been compensated.
Tapai votre mole filete tikana nkubi kama tebo kule wale vika kuifuma sandi ifuma kwadi so tatuishile mwandini ofochidi pantu tuarirusa ama kontena fwe bambi tuare manga ma 45 pini plus katundo ama kontena tu amanga poka bidi mamone so nomba tatuishile mwandini filete kama mwandini pa ground tu papata mtu afuirishe.
Our main appeal is that for government to look into our matter. It's seriously affected us in such a way that we are unable to provide for our families.
Chinaipa chabe we amene wanapwanyira ku mashopo senze ya musho using amakata ukwanya mashopo senze musho ropangono.
While this is the case, stakeholders in the market sector have been charging that most markets outside the central business district have been abandoned in preference for fast business. A check by Camnet News at Tokyo Market along Ring Road found that this is the case, as the market is sparsely populated. There have been calls for more sensitization to see traders occupying markets out of the CBD, as this will reduce the problem of inadequate trading places in the CBD. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
There we have it, Sharon, an interesting story coming from the Comesa market there, talking about the issue of trading spaces.
Yes, Patrick, trading spaces have always been an issue, especially during the COVID-19 period when it was in its peak. We still have it, but even after the Soweto market was gutted, I think the problems of markets started that time, it became more pronounced that time after the gutting of city markets, you know. Yes. And there was this provision of markets that were given, the land was given to most traders, like the Tokyo market. There was the Lumumba market. It was also given, part of the space was given for them to trade from. But they don't trade from these localities because they feel already established places are where customers will come. But then who is going to establish these places if at all you refuse to go there? Like the Tokyo Lane market there. It has potential. It's got stands, it's got potential, but it's empty. You know, there's literally nothing going on. Also the one for Lumumba, at least it was occupied for some time, but then it's almost empty. There's no activity literally happening there. So how do you expect government to keep providing these facilities if at all you're not occupying them and you keep crying, wanting to occupy land that belongs to other people? I think this is a case that is happening to Comesa market. Zipporah has been consistently covering this story. And I think this is the 4th time she's covering this story, and I hope that she puts an end to it, because why are you laughing? Because I mean, people need to understand that illegality should not be promoted at all cost, you know. Right, if the land does not belong to you, the best you can do is to negotiate with the owner how best it can be settled. If you fail to negotiate, the owner tells you vacate, you need to vacate. You know, this is the challenge. For example, you know, we find that even in the CBD, Sharon, you open your own boutique in the CBD. The next time I'm coming with my own stuff, with things that you are selling in your boutique, but you are paying the council one. Yes. You are also have to service electricity and everything. Me, I'm just putting out there. I'm not even paying anyone. If I'm paying something, say 5 kwacha or 2 kwacha. Yeah. You have to service that shop and everything. But how can you and I compete at the same level? And the council will be on your neck. Well, myself, I'll just be paying that a small amount of 5 kwacha. Is that fair? So at the end of the day, you end up collapsing potential businesses that can be contributing to the revenue of this country. There's an opportunity as well for the Lusaka City Council to construct big markets. Big markets whereby, for instance, I've seen in developed countries where they would create a mall that as a base for the underground, where it's an open market. Then it's also probably a 20-story building where it is segmented in terms of stores that you would find on each and every store. So you start investing in such an endeavor in the CBD, a big facility in the CBD, where, for instance, Sharon and I, if we say we're going to shop, we won't even be bothering to go to this side of it. We just go into that big mall where trading is taking place, where every vendor, everyone else is found. Exactly. We go and do our shopping. You'd find that the council will be making more money because all these people will be compliant. And they'll be organized. But you find in the CBD, people end up defecating on the open by putting everything, urinating everywhere, because some toilets are not even readily available. So those are the challenges you end up facing in the CBD. And when it comes to cholera,
That's when it strikes, it hits us hard. And even the COVID-19 pandemic, when it comes to addressing it, it is difficult to address it because we have uncoordinated people around.
Exactly.
How do you coordinate it? So it becomes a challenge even for administering various issues, even government interventions. So we need to just see a problem as an opportunity.
All right, Patrick, I think this is where we wrap it up for our breakfast show this morning. We've had quite a great conversation between the two of us and the callers. Those of you that have taken time to send the messages via our social platforms, thank you so much. Join us again tomorrow for the Thursday edition of the Camnet Breakfast. Patrick?
Remember, as we always say, Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Indeed.
You just need to keep it on Camnet TV and enjoy the rest of the programming. As usual, don't forget to watch our news at 12 hours as well as our main news at 19:30.
All right, look out for those. Good morning.